Here are 5 blockbuster trades that could happen for the Toronto Raptors this coming up this trade deadline. Unlikely, but 5 blockbuster trades. Riker?
Yep.
Trade deadline's coming up soon.
That's true. And now, like you said, I mean, you had a good point. I guess all these trades unlikely to happen, but I mean, we didn't see the Demarcus Cousins trade last season come to the Pelicans.
Yeah, for sure.
Wasn't reported.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, therefore, the trades we're proposing today
could happen.
We said it first, right?
Yep. Once you see one of these trades happen, just come at us. So, you want to get right into the first one?
Yeah. All right. So, number 1, we got Demarcus Cousins, just mentioned. Bit of a blockbuster trade last season. Nobody's seen it coming. They're not going to see it coming a second time around to the Toronto Raptors. Now, kind of a weird one, given I can't see a 1-for-1 trade happening between the Raptors and the Pelicans, given why would you get rid of Demarcus Cousins for just Jonas Valanciunas? Therefore, we're throwing in a third team, the Dallas Mavericks, who need a center. All right? So the trade goes, you see it on the screen, Demarcus Cousins to the Raptors, Jonas Valanciunas, and CJ Miles. So this one's a bit of a tangly one.
Okay.
And then the Pelicans get Wesley Matthews. So they're getting a shooter, which I guess they would want. That'd be a big one, but I could see it happening. I mean, the chemistry is not there between AD and Boogie.
Yeah, well, they've picked up as of late, but you don't know how things will change. You don't know if Boogie will say to the front office, yo, I want out, and then they'll lose all their leverage. So the trades are possible, but would you like to see Toronto make a move for Boogie, especially where he's an upcoming free agent? And even if it's not this trade, because I know we could possibly trade DeLon and Siakam straight up along with Jonas to the Pelicans as well.
We'll put that
but
one
would you want to give up assets for Boogie?
Yeah.
Despite him being a free agent?
Yes, because I don't mind getting rid of Siakam necessarily. I mean, now it would kind of hurt. And is it DeLon also? All right, let's consider both scenarios, I guess, at once. So DeLon or CJ Miles. Yeah. But we're still looking at that Masai Ujiri 3-year window, right, to win a championship. Mm-hmm. And the one piece that we missed is we don't have technically a dominant center right now. I mean, I love Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah. Jonas has been great as of late, but he's no Demarcus Cousins.
I mean, undisputedly, I think Demarcus Cousins is the best player, the best center in the league, right?
Center, yeah.
He's the best center, and he has that 3-point shot developed, right? That's what we need.
Especially if you consider Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Davis power forwards.
And we both believe that the Cavaliers are the only true roadblock in the playoffs this season, and we were able to capitalize on their small size, and they don't really have any depth at the center position. So if we had DeMar DeRozan handling Isaiah Thomas, and then Boogie Cousins handling whoever joke plays him, Tristan Thompson or Kevin Love, whatever. I mean, I think that we could have a good opportunity to beat the Cavaliers.
Yeah, so, and the one scary thing about that deal would be that Boogie's a free agent.
That's true. We'd only have him for 1 year. Yeah, we don't have him for one. For the second half of this.
But I think we'd be able to re-sign him, though. Because him and DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry have developed this really good relationship off this Team USA team. Mm-hmm. You always see them messing around and stuff during games, and Lowry pretending to push him. So I think if we got him, we'd have a realistic shot at keeping him. But I'd love to see Boogie on this team.
All right, next trade
for the next deal.
Yep,
we're plowing right through them. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, similar to my proposal for Boogie, actually the exact same trade. Paul George comes to the Raptors, and then we send out Jonas, DeLon, and Siakam.
Okay. All right. Now, you don't believe that Paul George is better than DeMar. All right, but I've heard you say before that you do want Paul George on the team. You think they'd be an unstoppable team. So yeah. All right. Tell me about that then.
Yeah. I love Paul George on the wing. He does everything good. He's a great He's a good defender. He can shoot threes. He can get to the rim. I think having just a team-oriented system around him. We saw what Paul George could do back in the day with Roy Hibbert and George Hill and that David West roster. And then they really took it to the Miami Heat, sorry. That's the team LeBron was on back then. But they really took it to that team brought it to, I believe, 6 and 7 games. But they didn't have nearly the talent Paul George would have had with this Raptors team.
No.
Right? If he had imagine if Paul George had Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan around him, and OG and Serge. That would just be, I think that would be overwhelming for a LeBron James-led team, because Paul George has been able to guard LeBron James and bring it back to them on the offensive end. So I think if we got Paul George, I think we have a phenomenal chance at making out of the East.
All right, but same issue. He only has a 1-year contract, and he said that he wants to go to LA. Will we be able to keep a player like Paul George on the team?
Yeah, that's more worrisome for me, because it would be tough to get Paul George in the first place, because OKC has been better as of late. But if he says he wants out, it will be even more risky for us to trade for him. As he said, it's a 1-year thing.
Now, Paul George is from LA though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
DeMar, I mean, he's from
right.
Yeah. So maybe there'd be a connection there. Who knows? All right, bring it in.
And Paul George said he values winning a lot. So
that's true, but the I guess he wouldn't really have the ultimate say in a trade. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see, right? Because it would put a lot of power in our.
And
go ahead.
One thing, do you think we get to the finals with Paul George?
Oh, I don't know. Tough to say.
I think that's a very realistic thing. And do you think Paul George is going to leave for LA or Cleveland or wherever if he made it to the finals with us, even if we didn't beat Golden State? But so there's high risk, high reward there if we make a Paul George trade.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll have to see. All right, swinging it along to the next one. DeAndre Jordan. He has, the Clippers, kind of a weird team this season. Started off well. Now they're doing really poor. We've had Blake Griffin that we thought wanted to get traded. Now I think he has a big deal. Either way, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, he just signed a big deal this summer. DeAndre's.
He said that he wanted to leave. He said he's voiced interest in Cleveland, but I mean, come to the Raptors. We'll obviously beat Cleveland. Jokes, but here's the trade: DeAndre Jordan for Jonas Valanciunas, Bebe, and Fred VanVleet. We get to keep our boy DeLon in that backup point guard position.
Fred's gone, man.
And then we get DeAndre Jordan. I know, Van Fleek. But, I mean, we get a more dominant presence in the lane, a rebounder, a shot blocker. We just have a guy that can't shoot free throws and doesn't add anything on offense. So I'm not sure how much.
He's really good in the paint on offense. And
creating his own shots, though, probably not.
No, but I believe his free throws have gotten a bit better this season. I know they were at the start. I kind of stopped following it, but I would love DeAndre Jordan on this roster.
Really?
But I think the trade that we proposed wouldn't really get it done as of now, and his contract is so big. It's DeAndre, at the beginning of the year, I remember we were talking about it, not on a pod, but I didn't really want to. But now that he can shoot free throws and he's not a liability down the stretch, I think he's worth that contract.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we'd have to give up too much for DeAndre Jordan.
Fair enough.
If they'd accept the trade that we proposed, even though.
But here's the thing. Okay, so he's good for pick and roll situations, which I mean the Raptors are still using. Not as much because their offenses swing the ball like quicker. Pick and roll, you need to have it slowed down. But then the thing that worries me in a series such as Cleveland or even Boston, if we have him on the floor and they do a switch to a smaller man, does he have the mobility like Jonas, who doesn't have mobility is what I'm saying, to defend on the 3-point line and not get beat? Like would he be a liability in guarding a pick and roll, a switch?
I think DeAndre would be a huge upgrade in that situation to Jonas.
Fair enough.
But obviously he's not a super mobile big, but his rebounding and his presence in the paint would just be
would offset
to worry about. Yeah, too good to worry about his pick and roll defense because he's just such a big body and so athletic. Yeah. I think that would help Serge a lot too because Jonas has been better on defense. I think we both agree he's been better than he usually is this season on defense. But if Serge Ibaka could leave all the defensive duties to DeAndre, I think that would help his offensive game too, and especially where Ibaka can be slow when he's used a bit too much.
True. Yep.
I think that would be a big help for Ibaka especially as well, and we're getting a huge presence in the paint.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
You know, if the Clippers were to accept that deal, if the Clippers were to accept that deal, I'd take it. But I think that one's a bit, yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably the most likely of the blockbuster trades that we're proposing to happen.
Boogie.
Given he wants to leave. I mean, I'd love to see Boogie, but anyways, we got 2 trades here, special trades that we made to sort of mess with the other. I haven't heard Ben's. Ben hasn't heard mine. Well, I'll get you to start.
Get me to start? Okay. This one's pretty wild.
Okay.
These are the crazy ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Toronto Raptors will receive Andrew Wiggins and Frank Kaminsky.
Okay.
The Minnesota Timberwolves will receive Jonas Valanciunas, Kemba Walker, and Jeremy Lamb, 2 of the players from the Hornets.
Wow.
And the Charlotte Hornets will receive Jeff Teague, C.J. Miles, and DeLon Wright.
Wow.
That's a pretty overwhelming deal right there.
That's a mindful. Okay, so we're taking in a max contract player, but a Canadian boy.
No, Andrew Wiggins only making $7.6 million this year, and then next year his new max contract kicks in.
Okay, is that a bit of cheese that you just made happen there? Because the trade based off of this season's contract or next season? Because he's already inked it.
This year. So it'd be good this year.
Okay.
It's just all the money would be kicked in.
Okay, fair enough. So we're getting Andrew Wiggins, good old Canadian boy, and Frank Kaminsky. I mean, that'd be the dream team.
We need some size.
That'd be the dream team. Because then we push OG up to the 4, Ibaka at the 5, and then Wiggins.
Imagine, Dwayne Casey gets Andrew Wiggins to finally use his athleticism on defense. Imagine that athleticism on the 3 and 4 spot with Andrew Wiggins and OG.
And the length, man, it would be wild.
That would be too much.
It would be like having Giannis and Kawhi Leonard on the same team, but better because they're obviously both better than those players.
Man, and it's just meant to be Andrew Wiggins to be a Toronto Raptor. I know that's what
it'll happen. Whether it happens
Andrew
this
Wiggins
season,
is coming when his contract expires, and then RJ Barrett's coming.
Yeah.
In the far, far future.
This is my bold prediction. Eventually, the Raptors are just going to stop drafting any American players, and we're only going to pick players from Canada. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's the bold take.
I like it.
All right, my blockbuster trade for you.
Mm-hmm.
I do this with especially you in mind, in my heart, because I know how much you love this player.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting a Canadian boy as well, Jamal Murray.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh, I like that.
And also one of the GOATs, one of the best players, not only in the East but in the entire NBA at the shooting guard position, Bradley Beal. He's coming to the Raptors.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
We get to give up.
Worst trade.
No. We have the opportunity to trade Kyle Lowry and DeLon Wright to the Washington Wizards. All right?
No. No.
And then the Nuggets get Bruno Caboclo and Kelly Oubre Jr. I knew you'd love it.
No. You had me hyped to Jamal Murray. I was like, yes, this guy's a legend. But no, Bradley Beal. I wouldn't trade Alfonso McKinney for Bradley Beal. Get him away from our team.
You're saying essentially you know what? It just remind me of when Indiana traded away Paul George, and they were saying like they essentially traded away Paul George for a bag of peanuts, right? But Oladipo ended up being a legend this season, so that's not even a good example. But I guess you wouldn't give up Bradley Beal for Boban Marjanovic and Anthony Tolliver.
No, I am not a. Obviously, if I was GM, I would accept a deal of Bradley Beal for Scrubs. But in my heart of hearts, it would hurt.
It would hurt. You would be resentful.
It would hurt.
All right, and I got one final. We said 5 trades. I have one final fun one. Given you said that we can trade rookies, I didn't know that. All right. Okay. So, the Boston Celtics get C.J. Miles. All right. That's fine.
Ew.
The Los Angeles Lakers, they're not content at the point guard position. They're getting Dennis Smith Jr. Okay, this is a 4-team trade. Dennis Smith Jr.
Oh, okay.
All right. The Dallas Mavericks are getting Jakob Poeltl. They need to fill that center spot. The Toronto Raptors get Lonzo Ball and Jason Tatum.
Yo, Jason Tatum, high key. Evan Turner. That's his
High key, Danny Granger.
No, Danny Granger's good.
Oh.
Evan Turner's Jason Tatum ceiling.
Okay, fair enough.
That's a very hot take.
Yeah.
That I say to all my Celtics friends to make them angry.
Man,
So Raptors fans, if you ever got any obnoxious Celtics friends or people you see on Reddit, whatever, just tell them their ceiling that Jason Tatum's ceiling is Evan Turner, and they lose their minds. They lose their minds.
All right, you heard it here.
You heard it here first. The craziest trades are happening. These are for sure, without a doubt, going down. At least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Likely not, but we're hoping.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to
We're
hope.
hoping. Let's get a superstar deal. We'll come back with a video on more low key trades that the Raptors can make coming up as we inch closer to the trade deadline. But let us know what your crazy out there blockbuster trades would be that you'd like to see the Toronto Raptors make.
Yep. All right.
Anyways, thanks for listening.
Yep.